A Haunting in Venice. Was it scary? Was it a horror movie? Was it a detective film? Find out in my review right now. All right, let's talk about A Haunting in Venice. So this is actually the third film in the Hercules, kind of like Hercules, Perot films. So the first one was Murder on the Orient Express, which starred Johnny Depp, Daisy Ridley, who was just coming off Star Wars at the time, and I forgot who else was in it, but they were the main stars. Oh, Michelle Pfeiffer was also in it. So then, a few years later, they did Death on the Nile with Gal Gadot and Armie Hammer, and obviously there was a host of other main stars as well. So normally it's Agatha Christie who wrote all of these. This one in particular was a adaptation of a book called Halloween Party. So they're adapting her books, and her books were mostly like plays. So they were very self-contained, and then on top of that, they had a very small main cast of characters because, of course, when you're doing something like this or you're doing something like Sherlock Holmes, you have to have a small host of characters because you have to make them all red herrings. Which one is it? Which one is it? If your cast is too big, then the audience can't follow it and can't pick out, if you have 50 cast members, which one is it? You don't have enough time to, red herring each one, and each one might have a motive, etc. So that's the case here. So in this one, of course, we have Kenneth Branaugh returning as not only the main star, but as the director as well. He directed and starred in one of my favorite films, Dead Again, that he did with Emma Thompson. Which if you haven't seen that, I definitely suggest seeing that. It definitely had some nice twists and turns, and it had Robin Williams in a very, very small role. He also, of course, did Thor. He directed the first Thor movie, and he's been in everything from Valkyrie to Harry Potter. So the guy's he's not very recognizable, but he's been in a lot of things. So here you have also Michelle Yeoh and Tina Fey. I would say that Tina Fey and Kenneth Branaugh are the two stars because they have pretty much equal amount of screen time for the most part. And Michelle Yeoh and then Jamie Dornan from 50 Shades of Grey. So that's our host of characters, and of course we have a few more, like some other actors that I've seen before but did not recognize from anything. Ricardo Scamario, God, how to say his name. And Kelly Riley, who I've seen in a few things, but nothing that I recognize as a standout. So let's see what she's been in. She's been in Yellowstone. That's probably people really recognize her from Yellowstone, Pride and Prejudice. But yeah, I've never seen that. And like Book of Eli, but I've never seen Yellowstone. But people might recognize that from her from that. So. As I said, this is the third one. I looked back up into what the other movies had done, and Murder on the Orient Express did very, very well. Internationally, it just blew up. It only did $100 million here, but it did $280 million internationally. So it did very, very well. So it did like $384 million based on a $55 million budget. So if you triple it, you need only $150 million. And, so obviously it made a ton of money. But even with Gal Gadot, I don't know if she brings in people outside of Wonder Woman. And Armie Hammer is just not a known star. And I don't think well liked. I don't like the guy. If he plays a villain, fine. At least I have a reason to hate him. But Death on the Nile, the budget ballooned to $90 million. And that's because it is, out of all three of them, if I was going to rate them based on, which is the best of the worst, Death on the Nile is the top one. I mean, he did some sweeping shots. He had Gal Gadot, walking along the deck of the boat that she was on, and there was a drone shot following her, where we saw the background. Everything was beautiful. He did some really, really good work in Egypt, and so that's the top one. So even now, this one would be second, and Murder on the Express would be the third. I have to go back and rewatch that one because I don't remember liking that one at all. So, and as I said, they're self-contained, even though you'll see stuff where mostly in the beginning and at the end where they do a lot of extras and things like that to make it look bigger before it gets self-contained. So, like in Murder Express, of course, everybody was getting on the train, etc. Before it got going, but everything else was then contained on the train. Death on the Nile, they had the whole wedding scene and all this other stuff, and then it got contained on the boat. And then this one, we have Halloween going on. We all the kids that are in costumes, and then we have the boats coming forward, which were really, all that in Venice. That was all really nice stuff. And then it gets self-contained within the mansion that's supposedly haunted because some a girl was murdered in there or died in it. We don't know it was a murder until later. And Michelle Yeoh plays a medium. So she reveals the fact that it was a murder, and then obviously other people start dying, and then we have to find out who killed them or if it was a ghost. So it is marketed as a horror film. Now, there are some jump scares in it, and he totally changed his directing style and his DP. I don't know if it was the same DP, but the DP knew how to light this one, and definitely in comparison to the others, where it was a darker tone, a lot more shadows, very contrasty. And then we have some of these very weird close-ups where the people are a little bit so close with this kind of like a fisheye lens. So everything's kind of warped a little bit. And you don't really find out until later on in the movie why he adopted that directorial style, because it looked very strange. But he does explain that if you're paying attention. So anyway, that's this is a lot of paying attention and trying to put the clues together. I didn't figure it out. The clues are kind of all over the place. Unless you know certain chemistry type of thing, you'll never figure it out yourself. So there's that. But my biggest complaint, of course, is the ending, because it's put together too much into a very clean bowed up for us. It's all just wrapped up and put in a bow, very clean. And he just, figures it out. And I do like that there's a couple of intermittent things that happen towards the end, but I really think what's missing is some kind of a physical altercation. Like, we need some kind of an action scene at the end, which I'm sure that Agatha Christie did not write, but for us as audience, I think that we need that to kind of finish up the storyline. And we don't get it. He says, "You did it, and here's how you did it," and of course they confess. That's how these all are, and it's kind of a letdown. We're expecting something that's a little bit more high octane towards the end, and it's almost like a balloon getting the air let out and zooming across the room, and then it's over. So there's that. But again, the acting is phenomenal. The look and feel is great. Everybody, put their A game into this. Branaugh knows how to direct. And again, we do get our little jump scares, even though it's not really a horror movie. We do question it occasionally as we go along. There are scenes in there that are too long or are really not needed. And I did find myself, kind of nodding off a couple of scenes. But so that I think it definitely, even though it's an hour and 45 minutes, I'm not going to say only because, I know a lot of nowadays everything's over 2 hours without the need. So I think if it could have been cut down even further. And with that being said, I would, if I was going to, rate this film, It's 7 to a 7.5. It's a good movie, but not a great movie, and you're not going to really remember it or want to see it again. Like I've watched Death on the Nile a few times. This one here, I probably won't sit down and watch it again. And unless it's something like that's on already or something to that effect. So again, it's it being the third one. So now, will this one make enough money? Because it just came out yesterday, so we have no idea. But as far as the marketing is concerned, is it marketed correctly or not? Because Rotten Tomatoes hasn't killed it. So I think it's 78% as the reviewers and 72% as a general audience. So it's fresh, and people are enjoying it, even though it may be a little bit of a bait and switch, because people might be going thinking it's a horror movie, and it's not. But at the same token, in comparison to The Nun, it has a way better plot. So you have a little bit of the horror stuff, but not a lot. Not as much as they pushing it out as far as marketing is concerned. So I wonder if anybody's going to be disappointed with that. All right, so that's it for me. So did you see it? Did you like it? Did you not like it? Tell me why. Tell me why if you liked it. What did you like about it? What didn't you like about it? All right, let me push my own stuff real quick. So this is my latest. I'm not going to say newest because it's a couple months old now. So this is my latest book. It is a fantasy book called Tales of Ravador, the Iron Witch. And this is a full novel with a cast of characters from different cultures, and you'll get some good magic system and things to that effect, and some good twists and turns and things like that as well. And this is my 4-novel series, Destiny Aurora, which this is the adaptation, the comic book adaptation of the first novel. So you'll have plenty of androids and aliens and ship battles and all this stuff. It's kind of a mix between Star Wars and Star Trek because you have some military stuff in there as well. And the artwork's pretty decent, and I think you guys will enjoy it. Plus, you have a good twist in there, too. Let me know if you see that one coming. And then this is my vampire mob in the 1950s. It takes place in the heyday of Hollywood. And it goes back and forth in time, so we see, since vampires are immortal, and we kind of see how the characters develop over time. And this is the first issue, which is 48 pages, and the second one will also be 48 pages. So the second one is technically 2 issues, so that would be 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, but I'm numbering them basically volume 1 and volume 2. All right, that's it for me. Thank you so much for watching. Remember to like and subscribe. Give me the thumbs up or the middle finger, whatever way you like it. And I'm also I'm trying to grow the channel, so take a look at a couple of the other videos that I have over here. I do comic reviews, movie reviews, and board game stuff that I'd like to get back into. I just moved to Atlanta. In fact, I just got a job today with a soundstage because the strikes are still going on. So I will continue to do them. I think we're going to be doing P. Diddy is putting on a music festival here in Atlanta. And so I may be missing a few days of content when that starts next weekend. All right. Again, thanks for watching, guys, and have an awesome day.